Hello, friends. I'm Brian, and this is Gizmo Board Games. And today it's part two of what I plan to be a three-part series where I just go through my shelves and talk about my games. I think I explained it hopefully a little bit more in part one. So if you want to check that one out and then come back, please do. Otherwise, I'm basically just going to go through my Kallax shelves and talk about the games I own a little bit and kind of my organizational method. So here we are on the second shelf, and as we work our way around my room, from my left is the shelf we just saw in part one, and now part two's here, and part three will be these shelves off to my right here. And as I mentioned in part one, the other shelves are more of my family party style and kid games. And now we're working our way up to kind of to the lightweights. Again, introductory to moving into some of the heavier, more favorite games. And then part three is going to cover a lot more of my heavier, medium, and heavier games, or games that I just like a lot. Typically are going to hang out closer to where I normally sit because I can grab them easy. So anyway, getting into this shelf on the top. Up here you see Hamster Roll. Quick little family dexterity game, easy to play. My kids love it, and it plays real quick and easy. And I've introduced it quite a few times to various people. Also up there, hopefully you can check out, I own both seasons of Final Girl are here now, and I've moved them out of a cube on the ground and put them up here on a nice display up top. I like the artwork. I think it looks good. And if I put it back in the cube, the art looks good there too, but I kind of like it is there. It makes a little piece, and I can turn it around and just grab out the few decor box and the few seasons I want to use at the time. And that's all that's on this this Kallax shelf. So although you can see more of them, we'll go ahead and cover those in part three. And then let's move on to this shelf right here. I got a little display of the World of Warcraft Pandemic Wrath of the Lich King. And you can also see Fall of Rome. And behind this, I've actually got base Pandemic and some of the leftover boards from the Season 1 and Season 2 Legacy games that I've kept as well. And that's that. So this is kind of my Pandemic Kallax is what's going on there. And if I get more, hopefully I can, put them in there. But for right now, I've only got those three, so that's what's in there. Below that is a continuation kind of the theme of cooperative games. These are all the other cooperative games that aren't on the family shelf. I pointed out one, Roll Camera is over there. I think that's the only one that's over there. Everything else is going to be here. I've got Mice and Mystics. It's tough. It's fun. I want to finish the campaign with my daughter and then probably move it on. It's all right, but it's a lot tougher than we like, and we'll probably play it with some house rules just so it's not as tough for us to finish the campaign. Horrified, I really enjoy. I think this was on my top 50. I don't remember exactly. If it wasn't, it's right in the ballpark. Another enjoyable cooperative game. Subterra is definitely my top 50. It's one of the favorites amongst the guys I work with and play with a lot. We really enjoy getting Subterra out. And then behind Subterra, I've got Forbidden Island. I do not like the container it's in, and the only way it kind of doesn't fall apart and have the lid fall off is A, I tape it, and B, I leave it laying like that. So it's just kind of back there when I want to pull it out. And meanwhile, I've got Subterra on kind of a display there. Moving this way, I've got, again, some of the old classics and New York Zoo. I don't know how old that is, but it fit the spot and kind of meets the requirement of these are pretty easy introductory-ish games that play a good amount of people, other than Stone Age only played 4. But Seven Wonders and Seven Wonder Architects played a 7. I like Seven Wonders. It was one of the first games I got when I started getting games, so you see the raggedy old box. Seven Wonders Architect is an easier version of Seven Wonders if you haven't played that. Stone Age is a classic worker placement game. A lot of fun, a little bit of dice work, but a lot of manipulation available there. And finally, New York Zoo is a newer game on my list. It fit here. It kind of fits the concept of easy group game, competitive, that is. And I just like it there. It's a pretty good game, Uwe Rosenberg game. Moving down here, I had some Pegasus Spiels stuck together. Two back-to-back we're not back to back, but 2 winners at the Essen. I believe they both won. I know they both were definitely nominated. Living Force, I believe, was last year in 2022. It might have been 2021. And then right from the box, 2017, King Domino. I was at Essen that year and picked that up. It's an all right game. I played it a little bit. I probably would prefer Queen Domino. So I don't play that one that much, but it's okay. It plays 15 to 30 minutes. It's easy to teach. So that's why it's on this lightweight shelf. Living Forest is another one that I don't care for as much. Push your luck game and then take actions. I need to explore it a little bit more, but I might look to move that one before long as well if I don't kind of enjoy it more in a couple more plays. Millefiore is a game I picked up pretty recently as well, and it seemed to fit the bill of the German style games that I got here in Germany, and it fit in the shelf for both space purposes and weight purposes. And I want to check that one out some more as well. I don't think it's going to play good at 2, so I'm going to stick to 3 and 4 player count probably on that one. And then finally, Clank, just kind of squeezed in here. Yeah, this goes back into what I mentioned in the first video. I already don't like that it's here, but I don't really know where else to put it right now. And I said I wouldn't touch these shelves until after I do these videos. So it's going to be here for at least the next couple of days, and then maybe I'll figure out what I want to do with it. Again, I think I've moved Clank around the most of my games, actually. I really enjoy it. It's a good little duck building, dungeon crawl type game. And yeah, so there it is. I'll stay in. I think you can still kind of see me and see the shelf. So I'll stay here for now. The top shelf, I've got some mess. I've got some, this is mostly my display shelf when I've got, a review or whatever, or I just want my background display. This is where I pop up the cover or the whole box of the game I want to put on display. But outside of that, it's got my steins that I've got while I've been in Europe, and my distilled shot glass, and these, what are they called? Jeez. Coasters. The coasters I got from Distilled just recently. I put them in this Kallax, but usually this Kallax is covered for most of my videos with whatever game I want to put on display. That's kind of my display cube. And then down from that, I've got a little bit heavier lightweight games. Point Salad, quick, easy, fun. I could put this on the party shelf. I think it plays to 6, but I want it here on the family, and it fits nicely into this spot with 2 other AEG games. Cascadia, another good game, 1 game of the year for sure last year. And Space Base, a good game that I should like more than I do, and I really like it, but I don't because of the dice randomness, and I'm not good at it because of the randomness, and it's hard to mitigate the random. So, but it's a lot of fun, and I'll gladly play it. It's just, I wish it was more fun, I guess. I don't know, it's weird. I like the game. It's hard to say I like the game and don't like the game at the same time. But that's kind of how I feel about Space Base. I enjoy playing it, but also I don't. And then next to that, Isle of Cats, polyomino card drafting. You're playing your events out that you want to score, your goals, that is, and you're saving the cats onto your boat and putting them together polyomino style, scoring them based on light colors together and whatever your goals are. It's a really tight game, and it has a nice family mode also where you can play just real easy, or you can play the heavier version of the game if you want to play that. And now I'm going to swing around here. Whee! So I can point out, hopefully you can kind of see. I don't really want to move the camera. I might have to, though. I think this is all right. We're going with it. Up top, you see this all the time behind me. It's my gizmo shelf. I've got a few gizmos. Got the Weta Workshop gizmo. Got my stuffed gizmo. Funko gizmo. Gladly take any other gizmos that people find. I won't turn it down. But that's pretty much that shelf. I've got a card holder that the stuffed gizmos in as well. Below that, I've got kind of an engine building shelf going on here. That's kind of the theme of this shelf, is engine building. Starting with It's a Wonderful Kingdom, 2-player or solo engine builder. I'm in a bad spot here. I like this one a lot. I believe it was on my top 50 as well. Century Spice Road, another easy engine builder. and you're collecting spices and transforming them into other spices and doing things like that. Furnace has an auction half of a game and an engine building half of a game. I keep holding these way too low. I need to hold them up. So yeah, another engine builder with auctioning. And then the last one is just Gizmos, a straight pretty much engine builder, but with marbles. So an engine building group of games. And I'm going to pause here and reset for the lower half. So I'll be right back. All right, and I'm back on the floor again. Hopefully you can see me and see the things pretty good. I'm going to start on this side because I'm not blocking that side. And we're down three down now. And this is, again, like the rest of the shelf, pretty lightweight. Family style games. I've got New York Slice. I pick, you choose. Get points from pizza. It's an alright game. I could take it or leave it, and that's kind of what's down here in the relegated to this corner. Push and Explosion I do enjoy for the most part. Haven't played it a whole lot though. But it's fun. You're drawing out marbles and giving a bang to make potions happen and get victory points from the potions you create. Juicy Fruits is a game where you're sliding things along the island to collect resources in the tournament to buy things, and it's alright. It's a real easy introductory level to learning how to collect resources by doing things to get points and move the game. Sagrada is a dice drafting. It looks great. A colorful dice on the table. I do like that one quite a bit, even though it's a pretty simple dice drafting mechanism. And you're trying to just meet certain objectives, and you gotta follow the rules of dice placement. So it has quite a bit to offer for as simple as it is, and I think it looks pretty good on the table. And then finally over there is Dog Lover, a game I won in a contest, and you're basically drafting cards based on the dog tricks you use, and then you've got to feed your dogs, and you want to give them toys and take them for walks and do all kinds of various things to get various points at the end of the game. And lastly, I've got my shelf of games that are most likely to move. I'll probably put these up for sale or trade or whatever sooner than later. I haven't officially done it yet, but if you see any of these you're interested in, send me an email or whatever. My information's below. But I've got Traintopia. It's a bit of a tile laying, build up a network, kind of Carcassonne-esque, but you're getting points based on the workers and trains you place on the routes of the train tracks you're building or what's next to them, in the neighborhood. It's all right. Just I haven't played it a whole lot, and I don't have much desire to. And that's kind of the case of everything that's in here. Behind this, I've got Dead of Winter. I enjoy this one enough, but I like Shadows over Camelot more for the trader semi-co-op style game. And I really like the crossroads of this one, and I don't mind playing. It's just I've got Shadows over Camelot that I could see myself playing more. And this one's a little hard and a little more mature, so that's why it's kind of over here in a place where I can move it and not feel bad. Next to that, I've got Twilight Struggle, another game. It was the #1 game of all time for a long time. One of the first games I bought just because I used BGG kind of as my guide to starting my collection before I really knew what I was doing. I played it a couple times, and it's just so long and so much to teach, and every time I played it, I've had to kind of relearn it and reteach it. And I don't play many two-player games anyway. Usually I've got either a group or I'm by myself. So it's really hard for me to get two-player games to the table, especially if I've got to relearn it, reteach it every time. And I have Star Wars Rebellion, which I would just much rather play. If I'm going to take that much time with a two-player game, I would much rather play the Star Wars game than the Twilight Struggle game, and that's why it's on my shelf of I'm going to move it. Galaxy Truckers, another fun game. I really enjoy Galaxy Trucker. I don't like teaching it, and this is a game you got to play 2 or 3 times every time you play it, because the first time you just walk through the draft phase, and then you walk through the explore space phase, and then you're playing it for real, and I don't know, it's just a lot involved for how not hard of a game it is just to get it to the point where people can play it. Unless you've got a set group of everybody who knows how to play it, then that's no problem. But I'm always reteaching games, just the nature of the people I play with. I really like Galaxy Trucker. I just hate teaching it. So it's to the point where I don't want to own it, but I'll gladly play it anytime with people who know how to play it. I just don't want to own it because I don't want to have to constantly teach it. So that's why it's on my... I'm probably going to move it, but I might not shelf here. Above that, I've got two-player games that I got on Kickstarter a while back when I thought I'd play more two-player games because I had a buddy who played games. And these are both pretty simplistic. Not a whole lot of strategy in them. Major General has a bit more strategy, and I played this one a few more times. Dark as the Night is a hidden movement game where one person's trying to find the other person moving around the board. I've only played this one once or twice. They're both okay, and they're small boxes, so they're not worth moving if I just hang on to them, whatever. But right now, I don't see myself playing them again. That whole two-player struggle. And if I'm getting a game with two players, I'm going to pull something else out of my collection. But these are okay for what they are. Next to that is Brew from Panasaurus Games. It's a game I backed last year or the year before whenever it came out on Kickstarter. And it just, I don't know, it never resonated with me. It's probably too take-that-y. I have only played it once, I think. So it could use some more plays. But it's not something I'm hankering to really pull out in my collection. So that's kind of why it's over here in my... I'll probably get rid of it and not care that much. But I also could play it again because it was okay. And I do want to, try it again maybe at some point. I just never want to try it again at some point over other games I want to try. And that's kind of why it's just kind of here on my cube. And then next to that is World Shapers, another tableau builder. I've had a review about this one. I like that it's a small box game. I like that it's tableau, a little card drafting system. What I don't like about World Shapers is it takes just as long to score as it does to play. So that's a bit of a turnoff. A lot of math going into that one. Let me get these out of the way here. I'm not really going to cover these a whole lot. You don't care. This has... like my mic and my light, and like it's just a storage cabinet. It's got extra rule books with different languages and things. It's kind of a catch-all cabinet for the things I use, or like score books and whatnot. So what's in this one? Literally just a bunch of components and leftover pieces and bits and things. This one is not exciting either. It's got cables and wires and cords and plugs and all the things I need for electronic purposes. So very boring, but, much needed shelf and cabinet space. So there they are. I'll move this side now. And this should be fairly quick. This one, I have some more sports games that I play solo. And that's it. It's some more play games. And we have a problem, Mr. President. Could be out somewhere else, but that's where it is. Some play games, some replay baseball, and seasons in there. This drawer is literally filled with card sleeves and baggies. Very boring, but again, very necessary. This drawer is the only exciting drawer up here. It's got some small box games. This is where I have like Flux and Hanabi, and what else is in here? I'm just kind of reaching blindly. Smitten. I've got some Phase 10 and Dominoes and other just small box, small card games, whatever. That's where those go. So that's the only game oriented out of these four cubicles. So. And then finally, I've got a Days of Wonder shelf, but that's not even all my Days of Wonder games, but that's where I put the more lightweight, funsy ones, other than Five Tribes. It doesn't really belong there, but it went with the theme of, Days of Wonder. I really like Five Tribes. It's a lot of fun. A lot of thinky involved in that one. Shadows over Camelot, I mentioned already once. I like this one. It's got the semi-co-op hidden trader potential. I just really like that one too. And then Heat is the hottest game going. Pun kind of intended. Everybody loves Heat. And then we'll call this my shelf of the next games I get that I stick in that shelf. Because as you can see, it's empty right now. It's an empty shelf. So I've still got space. If you're concerned about my shelves getting full, I've still got space. I think Final Girl used to be down there, or down in one of those shelves, because like I mentioned before, I reorganize a lot. Anyway, that's part 2 of my shelf review. And I hope you liked it, and give me a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more. And I've got one more part to go. I'll probably film that one tomorrow and get it to you later in the week, I believe is my plan from when you watch this video, but no promises. In the meantime, I do release a new video every Sunday. If you subscribe, you'll catch that. And go ahead and comment about the games I showed off today, or your organization methods, or whatever other comments you might be thinking with this video now having been seen. If you saw my last one, check that one out if you didn't, and I will see you next time. All right, bye.